Welcome back to Two Bitches and Brady reviewing. I'm Kelcie, and I've seen Doctor Who a million bajillion times.
I'm Bree. I've never seen it.
I'm Brady. I've seen it twice-ish.
Hey, he ain't racist.
For the record. If you're new here, hi, welcome. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell because we put on these things.
Yes.
We put out episodes of Watching Doctor Who every Wednesday. Also, on Monday, we have our regular Two Bitches readings.
That's
If you'd
right.
like to read, head on over there and check that out. So, these two episodes.
Yeah.
Two-parter, Human Nature and the Family of Blood.
Mm-hmm.
Two of the most beloved Doctor Who episodes, actually. And Bree fucking hated them.
Didn't hate them. I liked like the doctor message kind of vibe there. Mm-hmm. But the actual like story of it, I was like, meh. It's okay. I was like, meh. A little bored-ish. But not the doctor part with the love and his story. But the rest, it's like, oh.
Yeah, these two episodes in 2009, Doctor Who magazine readers voted them as the 6th best Doctor Who story of all time. And in a 2014 poll, the readers voted the episodes as the 9th best. And David Tennant actually won an award for his performance in these episodes.
No, great performance. Like, everything with the doctor, with the whole love story, and, like, do I come back and I don't want to be, like that, all of that was good. I like that. It's just like, the episodes as a whole didn't really do much for me.
That's actually crazy.
I know. Cancel me.
Okay, well, let's get into this. Episode 8, Human Nature. It was, directed by Charles Palmer, and it was written by Paul Cornell. It premiered May 26th, 2007.
Okay.
So the Doctor is pursued by the Family of Blood, entities who hope to use his power of regeneration to live forever. To escape them, he transforms himself into a human and invents a new identity called John Smith, who becomes a schoolteacher in 1913 England, who dreams of his life as the Doctor and writes these dreams down in a journal. The Doctor's true self is hidden in a fob watch, which, when opened, will turn Smith back into the Doctor. Martha takes care of Smith while she's undercover as a maid. After 2 months, the family arrive and take over the bodies of 4 humans. When the fob watch goes missing, taken by one of the schoolboys who is slightly psychic, Martha tries prompting Smith to recall his past, inadvertently revealing his true identity to the family. The family hold Martha and Smith's state nurse Joan Redfern hostage at the village dance, hoping to force Smith to change back into the Doctor.
Starting off, I thought this was going to be like that one, wait, is it that one? Where Rose and the Doctor, I think got transported into the games. Is it that one?
Yeah. The season 1 finale?
Was it finale?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Yeah. To me, it was like they got transported, or it was like similar. Like, I thought they had their minds or something got transported into this alternate world or something. And
that's
like,
kinda interesting.
they didn't know who they were, so somehow they would have to figure it out. And I'm like, hey, we're trapped here. And, I thought it was going to be something like that.
Would you have liked that better?
I think I would have.
Interesting.
But I do like it.
But like you could say that was the Doctor because he genuinely didn't know.
Yeah. So that way it was half of what I wanted.
Yeah. Okay. But so yeah, right away it's like shit's going down.
Yeah.
Martha and the Doctor, they're running into the TARDIS. They're like, did they see you? Did they see you?
Yeah.
They're after me. Like they Martha, I'm gonna have to do it. This whole watch comes down. He's like, I'm gonna have to turn into a human, and like, it's gonna be excruciating. Yeah. And then it's like, wake up. Oh, it's just the Doctor.
Yeah.
But here we have this diary that he's keeping. Okay. And this diary is called The Journal of Impossible Things. And many Doctor Who fans
Yeah.
have taken screenshots.
Okay.
Right? And they've analyzed and read the writing to try to figure out what is being written and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we know, like, just through the pictures that he's drawing that we see, you know,
a
Dalek, you see Rose. You see a bunch of other aliens, a little bit of Slovene.
Yeah.
You also see the different regenerations of different faces of the Doctor. And, like, arrows kind of pointing to each one. It's like he's trying to figure out the order of them, which was kind of cool. But there is on Reddit, on r/Gallifrey. Is that how you say that, Brady?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm not a Redditor. Although it's funny because I love listening to Too Hot Take and all they do is read Reddit stories. But yeah, so if you want to check it out, user Jimmy Silver Rims. I don't fucking know how to do this. 12 years ago. They have a thread of pages from John Smith's Journal of Impossible Things with transcripts.
Okay.
And so there's a whole bunch of different things about, you know, the console and the screwdriver and the TARDIS itself. And you see the empty child, the like face mask one and like things there. And then there's things on the Daleks, the Cybermen. But I want to go to.
You know what I want to go to as well. Hear it.
Is Rose.
Yeah.
Right? Let's see. I gotta scroll down to it. Okay. So some of the words that were written on this page.
Okay.
I find myself wanting to draw a perfect rose over and over, although I cannot find a rose anywhere. Roses. And then this is like a note from this person saying, the first two roses are X'd out, likely because they were imperfect. The rose perfection. It's a perfect rose. Perfect rose. Rose the perfect rose. Perfect rose. Rose. In my dream, I keep asking a girl where to find one, and she's dressed in the most extraordinarily immodest way. She will not answer me, and she keeps walking away. I keep dreaming of a girl in my dreams. I remember this girl I have drawn her, although I know her well in my dreams. I know her well. I know her. She is the rest is covered by the illustration. In my dream, I keep asking a girl where to find one, and she is dressed in the most immodest way. In my dream, she keeps walking away. I see her in my dreams and keeps walking.
Perfect rose.
Do you ship it yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
You know what it kind of makes me think of?
What?
I made this connection while watching with Brady, but I was like, Percy Jackson? Our boy would not fall in love with someone else because when he lost his memory...
the only thing he remembered, Annabeth.
Annabeth.
I gotta get back to her somehow.
But like a little bit like
But like
that,
I can see that.
you know?
I can see that. See, hearing that, I'm like, all right. Because before I was like, I could tell Rose loved him.
Yeah.
Rose loved him. Right. But him, I was like, I can't tell. I don't know this man enough. It's like, is it just like, nah, we are locked in. You're my partner.
Right.
But it's like, you're my partner.
My partner.
Oh, all right. I ship it.
You should.
Because I already was saying, like, them two are like halves of each other's souls.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it makes sense now.
I also just want to, let's see. So that Journal of Impossible Things was created by artist Kellie Ann Walker. So I just want to give her credit because she fucking killed it.
Shout out. That was sick.
Kellie Ann killed it.
Kelcie Ann.
I also want to say that these episodes were actually originally written as a story, like as a novel, by the person who wrote the episode. So Paul Cornell. It was based off of his books. Okay, so Human Nature was Paul Cornell's 5th original novel, all having been Doctor Who stories for Virgin Publishing, and the 38th New Adventure. The plot was developed with fellow New Adventure novelist Kate Orman, and the book was well received on its publication in 1995. Several years later, the revived Doctor Who television series included several people who had worked on the New Adventures, and for his second story for the television series, Cornell adapted this novel.
Cool.
But a great deal of the episode was rewritten by executive producer Russell T Davies.
Russell.
So,
Cool concept, though.
yeah. I mean, it's one of my favorite two-parters. Second half really gets me good. Okay.
It was good. It just didn't, I don't know, for some reason it didn't hit for me.
That's actually...
I know.
Do you think it's like the lack of action because it's so emotional?
Yeah, are you like just not emotional?
That's what I'm asking.
I don't know. It's just, I just think that the plot line, I don't know. It just, I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
So what I like about these episodes, and just like specifically this first one, is you see this other side of the Doctor, because yes, it's this human version of him, but it's still him.
Yeah.
You know? And you still see him do some incredible things with, you know, the ball and save. Yeah. And I don't know. And like, even the way, like, you know, he's teaching and you know, he sees Tim and he kind of has that connection with Tim, who is played by my Thomas Brody Sangster.
Yes.
What did you think when you saw him?
I was like, Thomas! I was like, everybody's in this freaking show.
I know. First you have Andrew. And
yes. But I'm like, dang, I wonder if he's like 30 right here.
we looked it up. I think he was like, what, 25 or something?
I can't remember.
He was in his 20s. Because the kid who plays Baines was also like around like 25, 27 or something like that.
Yeah,
No,
I knew it.
He might have been in his teens.
What?
Yeah,
Thomas?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He always looks so much, obviously he looks
he's
so,
so much
younger than he
Yeah.
is. I'm like, no, he's probably 30 right here. Look like
I
a
think
child
he's
still.
36 now, right? Isn't that what you said?
He was born in 1990, so he was 17 years old when
Oh,
he filmed this.
Okay. So,
Never mind, I was totally wrong.
I mean, I would have still believed it. So
Yeah.
But no, I was like, hey,
Right? I love him.
love him.
So that was a fun little...
Yeah.
And like, I don't know about you. Did you feel like you'd seen the actor who played Baines before? Because every time I watch it, I'm like, he looks so familiar.
The like evil kid.
Yeah.
No, I think when I first saw him, I was like, do I know him? But then I was watching him, I was like, I don't think so.
Okay. Because Brady had that same... He was like,
Yeah.
I feel like I know him.
I looked him up. He's in a lot of stuff. Like, I think he's just like a working actor, and we see his face in passing so often.
Just in the background.
I guess. I don't know, but because like I don't really know too many of the shows that he's actually on. So I thought maybe it was like he kind of gives me Cillian Murphy vibes.
Oh.
And I was like, maybe that's what I like when I see him, I think of him.
Yeah. Okay, I could see that.
But I don't know.
Might be.
I don't know. Not that I've seen a lot of Cillian Murphy either.
Killian.
Oh, is it Killian? Killian Murphy. Not a fan.
You should watch Peaky Blinders. That shit's good.
Brady likes that
Yeah.
show. I've never
Oh
seen
my
it.
god, it's a good show.
But here we have Martha. And she's a
I
pretty
will
good
say-
little actress.
I will say, at first I didn't know that she was like
Faking it.
faking it.
Too good.
Too good. She got me a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, she knows.
She knows. Ding.
She
She knows.
She knows.
This is what they come for.
Yeah.
But when she went to the TARDIS and she was like watching the instructions
Yeah.
of the Doctor on the screen and stuff,
Yeah.
and like fast forwarding. So fun fact about that is there's a deleted scene of David Tennant in real time filming these, and there's a lot of like skipping, right? So
Yeah.
he had to talk a lot and say like, you know, random things to just
Yeah.
have, like it didn't need to be on script. So he talked about his love for the House Martins and nonsense, just like literally random, like he goes like, knob knob dibbity dob da da da, like
Yeah.
you can watch it and it's so funny. 'Cause it's so David Tennant.
Yeah.
He's just improving, just like
I love him.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So professional. I love this man.
Yes. No, I thought you were going to say, like, someone, like, slowed it down or something, and then he was, like, saying something, you know.
Oh.
I'm like, no. What'd he say?
I know, like, wait, what?
He was like, "Nabbity-dibbity-bidi-ba."
Yeah. Which is just so good.
Yeah.
But I do think that, again, it's interesting that the doctor didn't take into account that he might fall in love.
I feel like if I was a doctor and I was, like, you know, making instructions, I wouldn't be like...
I know, I wouldn't think that either.
Yeah.
But...
How many rules did he have? Like
24?
like a
something?
buttload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, one, I'm curious what all of them were.
I know. Yeah.
And I think that's more episode 2, isn't it? Where she's going through that? Or is that episode 1?
I thought that she went through it a little bit in episode 1. Because we see, like, you know, don't let me forget you, or like, don't let me
Oh, you're right,
abandon
you're right,
you and
yeah.
stuff. And I think the love part was more in the second one, but, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, so going through, I guess, through the episode.
Oh, that was episode 1. Yep.
Okay, yeah. Specifically, I want to bring up the fact that Martha is a person of color, and she's playing a maid in this, and it is 1913 England.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we mentioned in other episodes how Martha has brought, like, is there going to be an issue? Like, you know, I'm obviously not white, like, and I'm a woman, and like, da-da-da. And the doctor's always kind of been like, you're fine, just chill. Now this episode, we
finally are seeing it, like, thank you.
Yeah, what do
right
you
off
think
the
of that?
bat, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, damn, like, this is for real. Like, thank you, because, like, that's real 1913.
Right.
But that was kind of crazy seeing the headmistress, like, the teacher, the other one that he fell in love with.
Nurse.
The nurse, there we go. Like, I don't know if you're doing too much.
Yeah.
I should have Martha. And then, you know, in the next episode too, like, but you're black and a woman, you can't be a doctor.
Yeah.
But then saying, like, that's the woman that he fell in love with.
Yeah.
Ugh. So, you know, how do you feel with that?
Right, and then, like, you even see the schoolboys, like, dragging on her and stuff.
Well, like, thank you for showing, like, real.
Yeah, like, the representation of, like, this is the history.
What would have happened, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm glad that he wasn't racist.
No, but he was a little asshole.
No, he's an asshole for sure. He's an asshole for sure. But it didn't come off like...
Racist.
Just like, you're the maid or whatever, so like...
Do you think that he made sure to, like, program that into his human self to not be racist?
No. I just think he wouldn't have been racist. He's just more like, what's the thing? Classist?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because I'm also curious. Because one of the rules he gave to Martha was like, don't let me hurt anyone. You know how humans are. Well, he's literally a school teacher at a school for boys, like military boys. Like, and
I think it's just a private academy, and they have training for that. I don't know.
Yeah, but still, for this to be the position that the doctor is in, granted, he didn't get to choose, but like still.
Yeah.
And the fact that he is teaching boys to become soldiers, which is just completely the opposite of what the doctor believes in.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
But then later we see, like, you know, taking up arms.
Right.
It's like he wouldn't shoot or he wouldn't do anything. I'm like, oh, he still has that in him. That, like, pacifist in him.
A little bit, but he still did. You know what I mean?
know.
But again, what do we know about the doctor's history at this point?
Yeah.
He did fight in a war with the Daleks, with his people. And he was the one to have committed genocide.
I know.
So I wonder how, like, that has impacted this human part of him. Like, because, you know, he obviously has some memories of being the doctor in this human form. So I wonder if any of that, like, maybe he thought he did fight in a war as a human, thinking of that time fighting the Daleks.
Oh, I guess that translated. Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. Brady thoughts?
Oh, it's like the core of him is still there.
Yeah.
And like he has this mask on that whenever that mask tries and does something that opposes that core of him, it like stops or something. So I don't know. It's interesting to see like how much of that was him.
Yeah.
How much of it is him.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you can still see him in there, but like, you know, like that really is him as a human.
Yeah.
Hey, he ain't racist.
Love that for the record. You would hate Classic Who. Because from what I know, I haven't seen Classic Who, but I know that he's very sexist, at least in the first rendition of the Doctor.
Yeah.
And I don't know for future ones, but definitely the first Doctor was very sexist. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was racist.
Right.
So let us know in the comments.
Probably.
Probably.
Yes, he's had time to grow and learn to be a better person.
Yeah.
So.
He's got lots of time.
Lots of time.
He's what, 900, a little older,
Yeah.
900 years old?
Yeah.
So, what did you think of her bestie?
No, I loved her. I was like,
She's
that's my
so
girl. She was like, all, working with her and just like, so sweet. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I wish I had like your power, your confidence, and that I'm like, bro, bring it with you.
I know. I was like, I'm glad that Martha was able to find someone.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, imagine being a woman of color put in this, like, just thrown
Yeah.
into here who is from modern.
Yeah.
Like, I would not know when to shut my mouth.
Yeah.
And I know Martha's, she sometimes says too much.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like she would have gotten into trouble if it was more realistic. Like,
Absolutely.
no.
Yeah. I was like, if she didn't have her friend, I could definitely say, like, actually,
Yeah.
I would have.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Martha grew more in these last 2 episodes than she has the entire rest of the season.
100%.
Because we were talking about how much of a rule follower she is.
Yeah.
And whenever she comes across a situation, she's like, oh, let me go replay the tape.
Yes.
What are the rules? What are the things I need to keep out for? And
Yeah.
when there's no rules for it and there's nobody telling her what to do, she finally has to make a decision and be on her own. She's finally taking charge.
Yes.
Which is what we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Really,
definitely what
truly,
she needed.
like, swap places.
Yeah.
So it's like now, like, I see the confidence in her. She's like stepping up, taking charge, trying to figure shit out, raising the gun at them. I know it's the second episode, but like,
Still.
she stepped up in these episodes. Mm-hmm. I'm very happy with her growth.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions about why she's here, too. Why is she with the Doctor? Especially in the second episode. They bring that up a bit more directly, but...
But I just want to say, though, I'm still sick and tired of Miss Martha. Well, it's not me, but, like, why didn't he fall in love? It wasn't with me. Martha, at this point, why? The writers did her so dirty. At this point, this far into their companionship, I just don't think... Martha is so much smarter than this. I just don't think she might still have lingering feelings for him, but I don't think it would consume her this much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it pisses me off that they did that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's her whole storyline is, I'm in love with the Doctor.
But he doesn't love me.
But he doesn't love me back. Like, you reduced this
Like, she's
woman to that.
about to be a doctor.
Yeah.
She's confident. She can take charge. We've seen her grow, but then it still comes down to like, but you're in love with her. You don't love me.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely thought by now, like you said, we would have, like, I accept, like, we won't be together, but, like, we're good. Let's,
Right. Especially because, like, the last episode, she, like, connected with someone else, shared a little kiss, like.
Yeah. But it's still like, no,
No,
still
still the
hopelessly in
Doctor.
love with him. Like Rose, we can see her, been in love with the Doctor, but it wasn't
But
like,
it wasn't.
like,
in
oh
your
my God, I
face.
love you, or like, it was like, she doesn't talk about it, she doesn't say it all the time, like,
Yeah.
even if she had loved him, he didn't love her back, she wouldn't have been like, what if we got a mortgage together? Like, she wouldn't be saying all that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. It's just like dumbing down the character.
yeah. It's annoying at this point.
Yeah. I will say from here on out, I think that they learned their lesson and
Good.
that they wrote the women of Doctor Who better.
Yeah.
Some people would not agree.
Okay.
I know that when it comes to a character, Amy, people got words about Amy, that she's a bitch, that she's a cheater, and like, girl makes some mistakes, I'll tell you that. She's a little bit of a cheater.
Okay.
But I think that it's a more realistic, like, portrayal. Because, like, again, like, people aren't linear. Like, we're not all the same type of person.
Yeah.
And you have, like, once you meet Amy, you'll be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
you know, she's not like a Rose.
Yeah.
A Rose. Or not like a Rose character.
Yeah.
And she's not like a Martha character.
Right.
Like, she's her own.
Yeah.
And so, but I know people don't like her. I know that, I mean, I don't like Clara. Mm-hmm. But it's not, I don't know. I think it's because she's too cocky. And they made her too confident. And I don't think that's realistic. But I don't know. Maybe that's me being like, hypocritical here.
Okay.
But I think overall they did a really, like, a better job of writing.
Moving forward, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I just want every character to fall in love with the Doctor. Like, I get it. There's something about him. They're, you know, want to be around him and go on these adventures, but, like, stop falling in love with him.
Yes.
I'm over it.
I'm over it as well.
So the next person, once Martha dies, and the next companion he has, if she or he falls in love with him.
Could you imagine? That's so funny. If they fall in love.
Both of y'all getting it. Don't care.
So, you meet Tim, the schoolboy. Thomas. Yeah.
Tommy.
And he steals the fob watch because he kind of hears it.
Yeah, because he has, like, a little psychic.
Yeah, because he, like, knew that kid's father was going to South Africa, like, to fight or whatever. And
no little thingies.
yeah, and he, like, kind of dumbs himself down, as the Doctor kind of pointed out.
Yeah.
And all this. Now, I want to talk about the watch.
About it.
Because on the front is, like, these circles and lines and stuff. And you also see a little bit of this type of drawing, if you want to call it, in the TARDIS. There's, like, sticky notes with these circles and stuff around the, like, monitor when it's in that close-up, like, you know. And then this is Gallifreyan. This is writing.
Like words?
Yep. This is, so where the Doctor's from.
Yeah.
This is a Time Lord language written.
As a language.
Yeah.
I thought it was doing some sort of, like, showing, like, Gallifrey's, like, solar system or something like that.
I mean, maybe it's inspired by that, but it is writing.
Language.
Yeah. So this is the Gallifreyan language.
Sick, I had no idea.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
We're going to see a little bit more of that, like, as the show continues.
Yeah.
Like, you see more of these, like, yeah, it's like circles and lines. It's really cool. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
So I know we talked a little bit about Joan, the nurse, but what'd you think of her?
Generally, like, she was fine.
Yeah.
She was, you know, for 1913, okay, you know, cool woman. But then for, like, the Doctor and her to, like, fall in love, like, she's like, I don't know. Like, you fall in love with her?
You fall in love with her? Wow, you're like really like Martha for real.
Yeah, I mean, she's cool.
I mean, here's I think that she reminded him of Rose subconsciously because one, she's blonde, she's white. The compassion that she seemed to have for the boys,
okay,
to me is very reminiscent of how, you know, compassionate Rose was towards people. And she has her whole backstory of her husband died, and the Doctor can relate.
Okay.
I don't know, it's just
It was fine.
I mean, sure. I mean, I agree. Like, we didn't get too much, because again, it's like, you know, in 40 minutes,
yeah,
we have to fall in love and all this other shit's
like,
happening.
I don't know, I felt like she could have been more so bland to me.
I think they had to have her be kind of really easily understandable and not too complex because she's such a short, like, character.
I guess so.
But I liked how they fell in love. I thought it was cute. Like how he drew her and then they kissed and
it
going out for their dates.
natural.
And it did. It didn't feel too rushed or anything. Surprisingly, given that it was 2 episodes. But, like, it's just such a, like, depart from our normal episodes because there's a big time jump. They've been there a long time and we're trying to figure stuff out, and I don't know, but it was really well done.
I really like these.
Like, I can definitely see, like, it helps that the doctor is like human and like this would be him if he was, you know, living in 1913. You know, it's like he's like a regular guy.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see them two like being together. So I was like, okay, that's cute. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you meet the family.
Yeah.
So you have Baines going out to get the alcohol, and he finds the spaceship, gets inside, and he's, you know, cowering, and it's like these voices.
Yeah.
And the son takes over his body. And the acting that this kid did was so... I liked it. You didn't like it? It is a little over the top, but that's why I love it. He embodies it so well.
Yeah.
He somehow takes himself into the uncanny valley.
Yeah.
Which is like super weird and like off-putting, and it works so well for me.
Yeah.
And the way he speaks... Yes, sir. Good sir. What about I love it. It itches my ear the right way, you know, or itches my brain. Ooh, it's just like, yeah. Like, I kind of hate it, but I kind of love it.
Interesting.
It's like a villain where you just naturally want to sock him in the face.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Brady, I don't know if you were like paying attention to the like shots, like the cinematography of it, but I did enjoy like these kind of close up, like they weren't Dutch angles, but it was
they were like close-ups on a wide lens, which starts to distort the face more and make it feel more unnatural. So when things are like, you know, unnatural or like things like that, they'll use a wide on a close-up.
Yeah. Did you like that?
Yeah, I thought all the cinematography in these 2 episodes were really good.
Yeah.
It was very understated, which is, it's awesome when you can't like tell too much with the cinematography.
Yeah.
A lot of the shots in it were really good, especially like, I don't know, out in those fields, and like they played really well with composition stuff, like where he's walking to the TARDIS on the end of the 2nd episode is a really good shot. I don't know, I'd have to like go back and take a better look because I was so immersed in the world that like I didn't want to pay attention to the cinematography, and that's how you know it's good.
Yeah. I enjoyed that this was a little bit more of a slower paced episode, I think. And like we really got to, like you were kind of saying, like be in the story a little bit more. Like it wasn't like, you know, especially with the last episode being what, 42? Yeah. And it was like 42 minutes until we run, you know. Yeah. And that's such like the norm when it comes to Doctor Who is like they're running around and like everything's going and they have to think 20 miles an hour. And this was like kind of a nice little break from that. And I don't know. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Like I almost wish we saw more of just him. I want to see like him as a human more. Like it was just like knowing how the Doctor is just so quirky and crazy and like seeing him like this is really him if he, you know, didn't have that whole alien shit. Like I just wish we saw more of that even. Like another episode just for fun. Just
I know,
see
right?
It. Yeah. I really did like that though.
Yeah. And then when the family took over, you know, the other people and Martha's friend, Martha clocked that shit right away though. Yeah. She was like, you're acting weird.
She was like, oh, let me,
No, but like, oh, would you like me to put some gravy in the tea with some mutton? And she's like, yes, that sounds delicious. And Martha's like, okay, Mama. No, but like, that is realistic.
Yeah, literally every time. Like some sort of alien takes someone over and then they're always like, yeah, that sounds so perfect. And they're like, okay, great. Like, you don't notice immediately?
The Rose first episode.
Literally!
When Mickey's on
your whole boyfriend person you've known your entire life. And like, always talks over you, always does it, and then...
What about the Doctor?
What about it?
Look, like, we never said that Rose was smart.
We didn't. We sure didn't.
We love that bitch.
We love her. Pieces.
But she's not the smartest
tool in the shed.
And neither are we. And that's why I'm like, they did Martha so dirty.
I feel like they did her good here.
No, they did her good here.
Oh, but like as a whole. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But I do like that they showed her that. Like, finally, you clocked it. You're handling business. You're smart. Like, You're showing me the real you.
Yeah. And then, you know, she goes straight to the doctor. She's like, you need to snap out of it. Let's get the watch.
Little silly there, though. Little silly there.
Yeah.
Because she was like, you know, obviously before, you know, he has to do that to remember everything.
Yeah.
She's like, you're the doctor. Snap out of it. Da-da-da. I'm like, he's not going to just snap out of it.
I know.
Like, you got to get the watch.
But then let's like, when the watch is gone, what do you do? You know? So like, she did her best.
I just want to get a little more subtle with it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she left the watch with him.
Yeah.
Like, I know that there was like that, like
Perception
filter on it. But like, if that was me and I was Martha, I'd be like, that shit's staying around like on my neck with the TARDIS key.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep those as close to me as possible.
Do you think though that she was worried about, you know, she's playing the role of a maid. She's
black
again,
maid.
yep, person of color. And this is the person she's serving. And that is his personal property that he knows about because he made sure that the perception filter that he knew.
Clever gal.
And so do you think she was worried that if she took it with her, that one, she could be accused of stealing,
Yeah.
or two, like someone else would steal it off her, or, you know?
That would have hit it better. I'm just going to clean up around me.
Yeah.
You know?
But then he's like, no.
Yeah.
Which we did get here, though, with her slapping him.
Martha!
I mean, I get it. But also, why is your first, one of your first instincts to slap him?
Because like, maybe that's TV. That's TV. That's not real.
Would you have slapped him, Brady?
I'd have wanted to, but
Yeah.
I
Maybe
wouldn't
she
have.
just wanted to.
Like, you know what? You don't love me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Love how he reacted.
You did?
Well, it was more like, because like if I was just a random person,
Right.
and my maid slapped me, I'd be like, get out! You're fired! Go! You know? Yeah. Because like he could have been like, you like racist and slapped her back. You know?
I
Like,
know. Yeah.
It's 1913.
I thought about that too. I was like,
hey, that's the best reaction you could have gotten.
Yeah. Although I do think it's interesting that Nurse Joan, throughout both episodes, like as Martha's continuing to like reveal new information, that Joan kind of is like, actually, you did have a watch. You know, the funny thing is you did do that, you know. Well, tell me about your past. Like more, you know, like she's in a more calm way than Martha did, but it is interesting that like
That she believed her.
right away.
You know? Because she's like, so I'll give her that though.
Yeah.
Like she is smart and she has like, she won't just, oh, whatever. She's saying that, but like, I'm hearing her saying, oh, I can see pieces that make sense. Like actually sitting within like, let me just find out and make sure, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll give her that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Willing
smart.
to accept that her worldview might be totally different than, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Open-minded.
And before we get to the end of this episode, back to Tim and him kind of opening the watch and seeing the doctor
Yeah.
and being scared
That?
of the doctor.
No, you said that?
Because like this at this point in the first episode, he has seen, you know, you see like flashes of him like in the fire and like, you know, all this stuff and I did like that when he bumped into Martha and Martha running.
I saw her like bump him.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
But when, like, you know, John Smith takes Tim and is like, yeah, let's talk about, you know, your grades or whatever. And like Tim's like a little scared, right? Like when he first picks up the watch and like sees it and like, yeah, okay. What do you think of like that being like, that's the first thing the watch showed him
Yeah, I know.
is this is a scary man.
I wonder if that was on purpose. Because the watch was basically telling him that the watch doesn't want to be there right now. Like it wanted Tim to take it because he was saying, I took it because it didn't want to be found. And then because I was scared of you. So I wonder if it tried to scare him so that he would leave the office with it or something like that. I don't know. Or like he needed, or like the watch knew that
It wasn't time yet.
he had to stay away from the doctor.
But
So
why?
it's like, let's scare him. I don't know.
Right?
to like keep that essence away from him to keep him safe or something. Because there's some sentience to the watch.
Who's like, he's saying it's not time, or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because it's only been 2 months and they were supposed to wait 3 months because that was how long the family would live? So do you think it was just like kind of that pre-programmed?
It's not time. It's not the 3 months.
Or do you think it's because, you know, it's the doctor's essence in there and it knew, okay, the family's found us, but like can't find me yet. Maybe
Can't
there's still a
find-
chance,
Okay.
you know, that I can hide.
I think it was less, it was programmed more it being smart. Because, again, Tim was like, at first it didn't want to be found, and then I was too scared of you to give it to you. So there was a point there where it, you know, wanted to go back to the doctor, but he didn't want to give it back. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Just something to think
It's
about.
really interesting. I wish they elaborated on it more, but also I kind of like the mystery of it.
Yeah. Like, what do you think of this whole, you know, this fob watch? I forget the technical term for it, so you'll remind me in the comments, I know.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. No, but like this idea of like, this is Time Lord technology.
Right.
They've obviously had a reason to use this before
Right.
to change their molecular biology
Yeah.
into something else, and the doctor, you know, choosing human. Like, what do you think about this technology? Do you want to see this more? Is it a cop-out? Like, what do you think?
It's really powerful technology. And, like, he's had it this whole time. So, like, I don't know, was there instances in the previous seasons where, like, he could have used this?
I know, right?
And it, like, would have solved things or, like, helped them in some way? But also, like, if the Time Lords already always had this, this technology, like, could they have used it somehow to save themselves? Or, like, it just seems like a very powerful thing.
Like, do you think that there are Time Lords either on Earth or
what
other
I'm saying.
planets that are like,
Yeah.
have used their fob
Yeah.
watch?
So
Do you
like,
think?
yeah. Because, like, if you can, they can't find him, you know? So, like, obviously they don't know he's a Time Lord. They don't, like, you know? So it's like, oh, you're
And
just
they
human.
themselves wouldn't know.
Yeah. So then if he's looking for Time Lords, like, oh, nope, no more Time Lords, I'm by myself. But, like,
Do you think he's thought of that, though?
probably.
But also, how rare is that item? Like,
Yeah.
is
Right.
this...
That's another thing.
And, like, you could say the same thing about TARDISes, too. Like, when the Time Lords were at their peak,
Yeah.
who had access to TARDISes? Was it just a very select few? Or was it most everybody? And then with this device, that seems even more niche.
Yeah.
Is there even less people with these things? Like, how rare is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so the TARDIS. I love this. So you learn a little bit, you know, in future seasons, but it's not like a spoiler, really. So TARDISes are grown
Right.
on the planet of Gallifrey. So it takes a long time for them to grow. So they're rare in a sense. They are restricted because the doctor stole his TARDIS and ran away. And that's the whole thing, is the doctor stole the TARDIS. And TARDISes, they're supposed to be able to change shape, right? Like,
Right.
I forget if it's been said yet about this.
Yeah, I think they said.
So, like, it's supposed to be able to change the exterior to fit
The
wherever.
time period.
Yeah. But the doctors got stuck
Yeah.
as the TARDIS, or like as the blue telephone box. And he says that, well, I like it.
It fits anywhere.
It fits anywhere. But I think it's like broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he couldn't go back to Gallifrey even before to fix it because he stole the TARDIS. And I mean, that might not be canon, so don't come at me again. I have not seen the original classic Who.
But it makes sense because I think before you've said, like, it's supposed to be run by many people.
Yes.
And he doesn't even drive that well, so you can tell, like, oh, he wasn't, like, trained for real. Like,
I think he knew how. I think that he knew how to do the TARDIS, but I don't know. Again, I don't know classic.
yeah.
But yeah, and then
That's
you get to learn more about the TARDIS, and it's really fun. It's really cool. I love what they did with the TARDIS in future seasons. like learning about the, like literally the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And then also how expansive the TARDIS is.
Right.
Because the
I
TARDIS
love
isn't,
it when they explore it.
yeah. Like it's not just the main console room.
Yeah.
Like it's a labyrinth.
Yeah.
And the way, there's a future episode. It's with 11. And it's kind of like you learn that like all the other versions of the TARDIS, when it, they regenerate, it's still there. But like kind of closed off.
Okay.
It's just really interesting.
Huh.
It's super cool.
And they have whole episodes that take place in the TARDIS.
Yeah, like just the TARDIS.
Does anyone like still be in the TARDIS? Like, how do we know he's like?
He's alone in there.
How do we know then?
CCTV cams.
I think the TARDIS would like tell him.
Someone got lost in there and is just.
It would be really easy to get lost.
Old companion comes out.
Oh my god!
Before we hop on to the second episode, what do you guys think of these aliens? Like their ship and their design or lack of design.
Look at Brady asking me a question. I know I get asked questions.
I'm gonna let you answer this one.
Ooh, okay, so I really like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, one, I think their lack of shape, because we see like when they grab Martha's friend that it's like a little green ball, but that's not the alien. It's what's inside, right? It's like a essence.
Yeah.
I love your beautiful essence. And that makes it more terrifying to me. It's like you don't know where they are. We don't know if, maybe they do have some sort of form outside, but we don't know. And that makes it more terrifying because it's like the unknown.
Yeah.
Because they could take over anybody or anything.
I want to know what Baines saw.
Right? Because he did scream.
What form was it in?
Yeah.
Was it something alien still? Or whatever was chasing the Doctor last, maybe?
Exactly.
Right. And also...
I want to say it was a Slitheen.
A Slitheen?
A Slitheen.
I like that one.
Okay, no, never mind. I was going to say, how important was it that, like, it didn't see their faces or something? But that was just so that they could hide away and then not get tracked. But
yeah.
Yeah, I also like how the inside of their ship is so organic.
Yeah.
And, like, you can't really... It almost seems like there's no design. It's almost, like, haphazardly put together.
Yeah.
It seems like all the buttons and, like, knobs and stuff are just, like, flat panels on the wall that go up and down, which like can kind of be controlled by any shape. Like any sort of appendage could control the ship, it seems like. So it's kind of cool how it's designed for any number of,
like
beings.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like this, because they call themselves the family, and they're like mother and son, daughter and father. I'm curious if there's more of them. And it's just like how the Slitheen, that was their family.
Yeah.
Because, like...
I'd say that.
But, like, where are the rest? Or have they all died off? And how do they reproduce? Because they only had, 3 months to live? And they wanted to live forever by, like, taking the Doctor's regeneration energy.
And I'm also curious why they always use... like father of mine, sister of mine.
Yeah.
Like they don't have names.
And why does it all have to be relative to yourself?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. They're quite an interesting species.
Yeah.
I hope we see more of them.
I would like to see more of them.
Yeah. So I want to know more background. Like, what's their planet? Like, how scary are they for real? Like,
Yeah. What would you rate this episode? Oh, sorry, real fast. Before we get to that, the very end, where they're at the dance and the family has captured both Martha and Joan and kind of putting the Dr. John Smith in the position of choosing, like... Because that's where we ended, right?
A black maid or my love?
Yeah, if I was Martha there, I'd be so scared.
I'd be like, bitch going, oh, fuck. All right.
And I think she knew, though.
Yeah. He's like, oh, fuck. Yeah.
Just so interesting.
Do you think, though? But the Doctor did hesitate, or John Smith.
He's a good guy still.
But do you think it was just because he was fucking terrified of his,
Well, yeah.
you know?
And also, like, you want me to choose one's gonna die or to shoot somebody in front of me, you know?
Okay, what would you rate this episode?
Okay. I would give it a 6.
Wow. That's actually crazy. Brady, what would you give this?
I would give it a 9. I think everything's interesting. Because, like, you're interested in the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
You're interested in Martha being undercover and in control and the only one who knows anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're interested in how the doctor reacts to things. Mm-hmm. How is he different? How is he the same? Like, there's so many little pieces that are all super interesting on their own.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, 7.
I give it an 8. 7, 8, 9. Why is 9 or
why is 6
afraid of 7? Get 7, 8, 9. Oh,
Get 7, 8.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on to part 2, episode 9, The Family of Blood. Again, directed by Paul Cornell, or by Charles Palmer, written by Paul Cornell. Came out June 2nd, 2007. Timothy Latimer, a telepathic student who can hear the voices in the fob watch, distracts the family by briefly opening the fob watch, which he is keeping hidden from the family, allowing Smith, Martha, and Redfern to escape the dance hall. They flee to an abandoned house after the family attack the school and are followed there by Latimer. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say.
You got it.
I love your support. The family bombarded the village with their spaceship to draw the doctor out. Smith opens the fob watch, becoming the doctor again. The doctor overloads the family's spaceship while misdirecting them. He gives them the eternal life they wished, while imprisoning the father in unbreakable chains, the mother in the event horizon of a collapsing galaxy, and the daughter in every mirror. He suspends the son in time and dresses him up as a scarecrow. Redfern turns the doctor's invitation to go traveling with him. Turns down the invitation. So, I don't remember if this was in episode 1 or 2, but I did think it was interesting when Tim opened the fob watch, because he opened it a couple times and like heard the voices. There was one instance where it was saying like it burns, or like, I don't know. It made me think of Burn With Me in 42. And I wonder if like there's still like, if that really like stayed with the doctor.
Oh yeah.
And like, I don't know.
The trauma there.
I also think it's interesting that it sounded like there was a woman's voice when he opened. It was the doctor, like David, and a woman. And it seemed like there were other like kind of male voices in there. And I'm curious why.
Is that just like the other regenerations of him, or like?
But there hasn't been a female doctor yet. So was it?
Because we've seen every doctor, right? There's not like regenerations of him we don't know of.
There have only been male doctors up until this point in the canon that we are at.
At this point in time.
Look. I'm gonna tell you right now.
She's going red.
I know. When we get to Whitaker, there is some new canon that is introduced.
Okay.
And it's a little confusing to me.
Okay.
It's a little weird. I don't know if I like it or not.
Right.
And I don't want to like spoil anything.
Okay.
So I'm going to pretend it doesn't exist at this point.
Okay.
But because there was a female voice, I wouldn't be surprised though if the future regenerations
I was gonna say
of the doctor are all in there, because the way that like it's hard to explain, but I could be interpreting it wrong, but it seems like the way that regenerations work, it's almost like there's a subconscious that knows all of your all the future regenerations.
Yeah. Because it makes sense. Because like if I'm regenerating, like how do I know what to turn into? You know what I'm saying?
And technically, Time Lords are only allowed, I believe it's 11 or 12. 12 regenerations. I think it's 12.
Okay.
Technically.
At this point,
I don't know. I just
all
love
the women's voice in there. I was gonna say, it's all his past and present and future regenerations.
Okay.
And that's why we hear a woman's voice.
What do you think, Brady? What do you
Probably
think?
say that. Yeah. Makes the most sense, I feel like.
It's so hard to like not, I don't know, but also like, I want to discuss.
No, let's discuss. Remember, this is like, we've all seen it in a way.
We've seen it up until this point.
Yeah.
And so we wouldn't even know anything. We wouldn't even know there's a female doctor because up until this point, we didn't know. But
Right.
anyway, so this starts off right where we left off.
Yeah.
Okay, boom. Martha taking charge. This is where, gets the gun. You think I won't shoot? So think again.
Growth, confidence.
Although, I want to point out that Rose, from my memory, she never picked up a gun. Did she? Or like really used a gun at all? I don't think.
Yeah.
When?
I mean, when they were on the clock one.
Oh, yeah.
She had like that.
She did. She did.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say she had one in the Impossible Planet, but she didn't use it on someone. She didn't use any weapons on anybody.
Yeah.
Martha hasn't yet, has she?
She has killed all of those pig people
With the
electricity.
Not with the gun.
Not with the gun. But she did, again, I just think it's interesting that because of the doctor, Martha has been forced to pick up weapons.
Yeah.
She has been forced to kill.
Been forced to
now,
kill.
whether those were like, there's arguments around like how human those things were, but
still,
she had to kill.
And it's interesting too because she's supposed to be a doctor or like going to be a doctor. So the whole thing is like,
do no harm.
Do no harm.
Mm-hmm. And like, I mean, she's defending herself. I'm not saying that like she's in the wrong at all.
But it's just interesting to see that. Like,
And again, I said this last episode, but I'm gonna say it again. I think that like the doctor ruined Martha's life. If the doctor had not gone into Martha's life, she would have been better off.
I'm starting to say that low key. Especially like if she goes, I could see her being like, I don't need to like travel with you forever. Like I could go back home and like try to be a doctor. Like Rose, no way. She couldn't go back to normal life.
No.
I definitely could see Martha being like, I could go back to normal life. But like after all of that, I feel like she'd have like a crisis, a identity crisis, because like I was supposed to be a doctor, do no harm, but I've done so much harm. And now like I've gained confidence, kind of lost confidence too with everything. So I don't know. I can see it.
So I know that you think that she's gonna die. But if she didn't, like, do you think that would, like, do you think she would have gone back to become a doctor? Or do you think that, like, she would have, there was a different path for her now? Like, do you think she would have become some type of soldier or something?
In my head, she tries to go back to be a doctor. But because of all of this, it's like, no, I think it would have changed her negatively. To be like, I can't be a doctor now. What else? I don't know.
Right.
She'll just go work at Torchwood.
Yeah.
Along with all the other companions.
Yeah.
His gallery of ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So Martha's stepping up and she tells the doctor, get everyone out of here. And he still doesn't And that's when Joan is like, oh, yeah, no, let's do that. Everyone out. But they all escape back to the school.
Yeah.
And the Scarecrow people and the family approach the school. And the headmaster and I don't know who this other man is, but they come out. And, you know, of course, like, they're like, who are these people in fancy dress? And Baines, come on, like, alcohol must be involved. Like, they're trying to, you know, understand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, the doctor is gathering kids to
fight.
Grab weapons.
And I love this episode in particular was, I just think, emotionally, beautifully portrayed this idea of boys going to war. And this conversation specifically between Baines, or, you know, the son, and the headmaster, and Baines being like, you know, are they grateful, or do you think they're going to thank you? And the headmaster's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, you know, we were out searching for the doctor, and do you know what happens next year? The war. And, you know, when these kids are in the trenches, you know, and they're in this glorious war, do you think they're going to thank you? And just the way that the actor said these lines was just so well done. And the reaction of the headmaster being like defensive and saying, I was a soldier, I fought.
Yeah.
You know, I used my dead comrades as sandbags. Okay, and you want to put that on these kids?
Yeah.
I just thought that was...
Because if you had a choice, would you have really wanted to have gone through that and do that?
Exactly, right? And so I feel like that's what I like about this episode in particular. And I think I have to like the first one just because it, you know...
Gets to this one.
Just the layers upon layers upon layers in this episode. Because you have the real life... Like, this is 1913 going into what Brady said was World War One, right?
Yeah.
World War One. Boys, you know, being taught to kill.
Yeah.
And that scene where, like, they all go into, like, it looks like a barn, but, like, I don't know, like, the courtyard.
Yeah.
And there, you know, there's a boy crying. There are these tiny boys. They look like they're 6.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know... The Scarecrows come in and they, you know, are shooting and they're still crying and, like, you know, they look terrified and all the Scarecrows are dead and the headmaster, he's like, oh, they were just straw. And you have the kid being like, so we didn't kill anyone? We didn't kill anyone. Because it's not just the fact that they're in danger.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you're taking someone else's life.
Yeah. At such a young age, too.
At such a young age. So, like, you have that layer.
Yeah.
And then you have the doctor's layer.
Yeah.
Which this is, again, I mean, David Tennant, we talk about it every single episode, how amazing and how brilliant of an actor he is. But this episode, the way that he presents himself and speaks, his dialect, when he speaks as human John Smith, to the way that he speaks and acts and the way he holds himself as the doctor. Oh, it gives me chills. It gives me chills right now.
I noticed that. I was like, damn.
Like, you can see these are two different people. And the way that he switched it on and off a couple times, because, like,
when he was
my gosh.
Yeah, when he was talking to Tim and he was like, oh, that's just a low-level telepathic field, blah, blah, blah. He's like, wait, is that how he talks?
Brilliant. Like, that man is a trained actor for real.
No, for real.
Like, that is what, like...
No, his acting, especially in this episode, is just...
Yeah, and he won an award for this, as he should.
Yeah.
Oh, he's brilliant.
And I really love the drama around John Smith dying.
Yes.
And, like... by him going and becoming the doctor, he is killing off this man. Which also, if you're watching Severance...
I was literally going to say Severance!
Big thing there.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh my god,
the innie.
So funny,
it's like they killed the innie.
Literally.
Yeah. She is...
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm going to force her to watch the pilot. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. You might not like the first half, but then once you get to the second half, it's really good.
Okay.
Of the pilot?
Yeah.
It's been so long, I can't really remember it.
Yeah, I remember like first half was like, okay, it's weird. What am I vibing? And then second half, you're like, oh, okay,
Not
this is really
vibing.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
You need the layers. But no, that whole scene with like, essentially, I'm gonna be killing myself to bring back this like monster. You know, like you're scared of him and da-da-da, like.
And I love that scene where they're in that house and it's Tim who knows the truth and it's Martha who is also knows everything, and it's Joan who is like, give us a moment. Like this is our moment. We need to. I'm the one who John Smith needs right now. Because like in my mind, I'm like, you gonna kick out Martha?
Yeah.
and Tim, like, but it's like the most important person in John Smith's life is Joan, and he needs that time with her. Yeah, that's so impactful for me. Because I was like, but Martha, and then I like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like Martha's coming in as like, you're the doctor, you're playing a part.
Yeah.
But hers like, no, I'm
is
talking
real
to him as
life.
John. This is who he is right now, you know?
Yeah, and like just again, this scene.
Yeah.
You have the doctor saying like, why do I need you?
Yeah.
To Martha. And Martha, she goes, because you're lonely. And he goes, and that's what you want me to become? And you have Tim, who doesn't even really know the doctor other than what he's seen. And he says, at first I was scared of you.
Yeah.
You're like ice and rage and anger and fire.
Oh, this 8.
But you're also wonderful. And he knows like he's saved so many. And with the bad, like, there is good and bad.
Yeah.
And like Tim, just by seeing these like visions of the doctor and like seeing the doctor's past, knows how important the doctor is to the universe. So this kid who has only known him as John Smith, he realizes, no, you need to become the doctor.
Yeah.
And Martha, who knows the doctor and has seen what he's done, knows that he needs to be the doctor.
Yeah.
And you have Joan. She wants John Smith, right? But even she knows.
And I would say Joan was the only person who cared about John Smith
1,000%.
and who John Smith was.
Yeah.
And she had to be the one to tell him that he had to do it.
But it's interesting the way that conversation went, because she didn't really tell him he had to. No. She kind of just was like, got him there.
Yeah.
She was just like, because I don't think she wanted him to go.
Right.
Right? But she was just like that scene where you see, the future that they could have had, the wedding and the kids and, him in the old age. Like, that was the life that they could have had. But she but the Time Lord version of you can never have that.
No. Bro. No, this was really good.
And this is where, in my head, I'm like, this John Smith version of the Doctor is the core of his emotional side of the Doctor.
Yeah.
That he has to hide away in this encasing of a Time Lord. Because I think of, him when he was with Rose and like when he was 9, Rose broke that shell a little and pulled out that emotion.
Yeah.
And then he's really built that brick up again when he's like with Martha after Rose has left, because he's so like drawn into himself. He's like, I can't have that emotion because I just lost the most important person in my life.
Yeah.
And I can't do that again. And I feel like this was such a moment for him to understand that he can let that down, and it's going to hurt every time.
Yeah.
But he's strong enough to live through it.
Yeah. No, that was it. That was perfectly said.
Thank you. Because, I mean, obviously you have like him, like, I don't want to, I don't want to, like I'm scared. And I love that when, at the very end, when he's back to the Doctor and he has the conversation with Joan and she says, he was a braver man than you, because you changed, but he died. And you won't change back. Like you won't die to become John again. He was braver than you. But you still see, and again, like he's really good at putting up that facade. But in that moment, because he kind of goes in and she's looking out the window and she won't look at him, but then she turns around, sees him. He's like, you could come with me. And she's like, no, I can't. You could come with me. And he goes, please come with me. And that is like, I think, letting out that little bit of that human side of him.
Because like John's not really, he's dead, but like he's still a part of him. So he still like experienced all that, felt what he had felt too. It was real.
And I love that John version of him kept saying that. It was like, it wasn't a lie. Like it was real. It wasn't it. Like it was like, I didn't. And I just, again, I think that's such a doctor thing to do. Yeah. Is to like say like it was real. And I think that the doctor version would have done that exact same thing. Yeah. Like I wasn't lying. Like it was real. Like
John Smith is still somewhere here.
Yeah.
And he's just more, I don't want to say like pragmatic, but like he's more, like he's
realistic?
Because he's trying to tell his emotions to her by saying like, John Smith is still here. Like everything that he felt and he is and he was, I am. Yeah. But like the way he says it is so unemotional.
Yeah. But I think he's definitely like...
Exactly. He's still protecting himself.
1,000%. Because he knows like, we can't, because like, it's not just that,
And then she really gets him when she's like, if you had never come here on a whim, if you had never chosen this place on a whim, and you would not become John Smith, would any of these people had died? And she looks him in the eyes at that point, because this whole time she's like been avoiding, and she looks straight up at him, and he can't even answer.
Those were their last words together.
Just like, let that.
Yeah.
Because that is the doctor.
What kind of internal struggles is the doctor facing? Like, death and destruction does follow me everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But he does good things.
I think he tells himself that he doesn't deserve things because of all the horrible things that follow him.
Mm-hmm. Fuck.
Steep as fuck.
Fuck.
And then... Again, you have that little thing that I think it cheapens it, where you have
here we go.
Back in the house, Martha being like, I'm like, please, like, I love you. Like, and I love him to bits. Like, I want my doctor back. And then at the very end, she's like, I would have said anything to get you back. Like, like it just cheapens it for me.
Yeah.
To me, she could have still said something very similar to that. And I loved the doctor. He's done so many good things, and it didn't have to be in a, I love you sort of way.
Yeah.
I want to see Martha own her emotions and not feel ashamed of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's so her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She should just wear it like a badge,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't like that.
No.
But I did love, the doctor's reaction, and like he was like, "Oh yeah, no, but I never said, thank you for taking care of me."
Yeah.
And like gave her a hug. Like I don't think that the doctor is playing with her emotions. I think he's genuinely like, you're my friend, and like there's that awkward, but like you're ignoring it, I'll ignore it. Yeah. Again, he's not the best when it comes to emotions.
Yeah.
We could all do better. He could do better.
Yeah.
But there was still like, there's a genuine connection there of love and friendship.
Yeah.
And, I did appreciate that he appreciated Martha.
Yeah.
Because she needs more appreciation from him.
Definitely.
And even though it was really awkward, he still went in and gave her a meaningful hug.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, even though I can't love you back the way you love me, like I still love you as a friend. Like, I do appreciate like you being here as my friend.
You saved me.
Yeah. So that was sweet.
Yeah.
And what did you think of the doctor, like, putting on his little show, like, I'm still a human? What? Oh, like when he went to the Baines or family.
I like that. That was
Did you still think he was human?
At first, but then the way he was like pushing all the buttons, I was like, nah, wait a minute. Yeah. I was like, he's doing it.
Smart boy.
Yeah.
And what did you think of this punishment that the doctor
No,
gave
that was
the family?
crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, super out of character almost.
Yeah.
Do you think?
No.
Well,
But I feel like it is him, but this is just the true brutal side of him coming out.
Yeah.
The part that he suppresses so often. Because, like, he tricked the mom into falling into a black hole,
Yeah.
set up Baines as a scarecrow suspended in time to live forever, and
The mirror.
chained up the dad
Mm-hmm.
in some metal forged and whatever. It
Yeah.
was special. Yeah, and then the sister trapped in every single mirror, like permanently trapped. Interesting that he would torture them with infinite existence.
Yeah.
so
So
here's
I find it interesting that the worst thing that he can do to people is make them live as long as he did, in a way.
here's my question to you. I think I'm not disagreeing with you, but I just want to put this in your head. So I love this voiceover that Baines or the son was saying, because he said, you know, looking back on it, the doctor was trying to show us mercy by hiding and by letting us just die off.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, you know, he chose to, like, suspend us in time to let us live forever like we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the doctor would have had to kill them himself. Right? It was either kill them or give them what they want.
Well, couldn't it just been like, put them somewhere and they'll just end up dying?
But at that point, is that him killing them?
And also, there's a chance they might escape, because what is their form and how do they move?
Yeah.
That's another aspect that we as the audience don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's more of a, I'll save you and make sure you can't do anything bad again.
Exactly.
Like
But somehow it's still like cruel.
Right?
But also like,
it
right thing
somehow
to do?
fits in his moral code,
yeah.
but it's like a loophole almost.
Yeah.
Because it's like he's putting them in jail,
Right.
but the only way it seems that he can jail them is by making sure it's extreme so they can't escape.
yeah.
And is it worse than death?
And is it worse than
know.
death? I don't know. And this is where, you know, I think that the doctor is that morally gray,
Mm-hmm.
you know, character where it's like, where are his morals skewed? Because it's like, was he trying to be kind? Because yes, he was like trying to be kind at the beginning by just letting them die off, because that was the best scenario, right?
Right.
No one gets hurt. But at this point, they've murdered hundreds of people because they bombed the village. And they took over these human bodies. And again, we don't know if he can just, you know, like put them in some sort of jail. Like, we don't know how that works. He can't constantly be keeping an eye on them. He's got other shit to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that they made sure to say that the daughter who's stuck in the mirror, he visits her once a year, every year.
Why?
Why?
I also wonder, like, does he just like visit her and then hop in the TARDIS and fast forward a year and then visit her and like just get it all done? Or is this like you have a reminder or something?
But like, jokes aside, like why do you think he visits her?
I don't know. Is it because she's the most innocent?
Right.
She never picked up arms.
Yes,
well, no,
she
she
did.
did. She
She
did.
killed
She killed
The headmaster.
Is it
Yeah.
just because she's in a child's body, so he sees her as like
See, that's what I'm
a
thinking.
child?
Yeah, it's
So
But
like
how,
saying-
how old is that alien?
I know, but like
Exactly.
but just the way she's looking, you know?
Do you think that
why
it's,
visit her and not anyone else?
Right.
do you think that it's almost his punishment.
Maybe.
Because that's the only one he could really, scare her, but like, he could physically see her.
She's in every mirror.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always have to be the same mirror, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it. It's just like
A
he
reminder
needs to
too.
remind himself of the things he's done.
Yeah.
He won't let himself forget what he's done.
Exactly.
Yeah. Damn.
So what would you rate this episode?
This was definitely a good one. This was a good one. I'm gonna give it an 8.
After all that.
That's good. That's solid. That was a good episode.
Yeah. Brady, what would you rate this episode?
10.
Nice.
I think it's the perfect episode.
Perfect. It's extremely solid. I'm gonna give it 9.5. Just because the next episode for me is like 10. Really? I love the next episode, so it's just like
Okay, I would 8.5.
I would give this episode a 10.
Yeah.
But
Like comparing it to
which honestly the next one isn't as emotionally deep at all.
yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can't give every episode a 10, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's definitely it's like a 9.99.
Okay.
Well, round it down to 9.5.
Right. Dang.
Now, but like, do you feel better about these episodes now?
No, I definitely feel better.
You like them more?
Yeah. They should really discuss, you know?
I also think that it being tied into World War I is also really interesting for this
Yeah.
episode, because one of the things that Joan said was, if you hadn't chosen this place on a whim, would all these people have died? Like, if you made that one small decision, all these people wouldn't have died. And then World War I, like they even summarized it pretty quick. An Archduke of Austria was shot by a Serbian. Then all those treaties went into effect and everybody had to fight. So it's interesting how it's, again, connected to one small event that created so many deaths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't really touch on Tim and how, you know, he was able to see into the future and know at that one point that him and his, you know, schoolmate had to move out of the way and that after that, everything was going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then we see fast forward to the future, you know, Tim as an old man with the watch still and you know, at the, is it a grave or
like a funeral or something?
I don't know, or like some sort of ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed to be a monument.
Monument, that's the
that
word.
they were putting up.
And you see the doctor and Martha back there with their little poppy flowers, right? Is that what that was?
Yes, I believe it was poppies. Yeah, I think that's a sign of World War I British soldiers.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, Tim, you know, could see him. And
oh, dude. Dang. That was good.
I know. So, I know that, like, so you like, felt fine about Joan, like, neither which way or that, but do you wish that she would have gone with the doctor? Or do you think, like, no, I wouldn't have liked her?
I think she would have given, like, a really interesting perspective for all the scenarios and seeing her from, you know, 1913 going to, you know, alien world into the future and all that stuff. So it'd been really cool to see, like, her take and her, you know, as a companion. So I might have liked her better that way, just seeing that different perspective.
Yeah.
And then I could see, like, an arc for her, too, with, like, I mean, she already has, like, the base of, like, being open-minded and, you know, accepting different views. So seeing her, like, travel and how much she would have changed or, you know, so it'd been really cool to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a missed opportunity in these new Doctor Who seasons is in past Classic Who, there were companions from different times and different, you know, places and stuff. And with this new Who, it's all very, like, modern. Which I do think that it would have been cool to have.
Because it's like, you take someone from this culture, this time period with these mindsets and all these values and then work an alien world. Like, it's all, you know, it's to see how that would change them, their ideas and takes it. Like, I don't know. It's like now, like, the modern, they might all have a similar, like, worldview in a way, and, like, how would that really affect this? You know what I'm saying?
Especially in the Doctor Who universe, because you have Martha, who knows about aliens, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, like she was like, the war at Canary Wharf, like there was all that weird stuff with the spaceship. And so in that universe, they know about aliens. And as you continue, like they should know, right?
Yeah.
And so you're already straying from like our world.
Yeah.
But like, because you have all these, episodes of the Doctor taking someone from our time, modern America or modern Britain.
Yeah.
Taking them to the future. And of course it's like, whoa, that's so crazy, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But imagine the Doctor taking someone from 1913 to 2025,
Right.
Like, and then being like, oh my God, that's crazy. But we can be like, whoa, yeah, that would be crazy for them.
Yeah. And like how they're seeing everything and how they react to modern perspectives of their, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just think that.
Even the reverse, like somebody from the future coming back to current day.
Yeah.
Would be so interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
So we get that same view, you know?
And like, I get it. It's like we can relate to these characters, but I do think that it would be interesting to show that. And especially with Classic Who, from what I know, it seemed like they mix and matched.
Yeah.
So within one TARDIS, one season, you had someone from the past and a modern person and the Doctor.
Yeah, and seeing like their relationship and how they work, and then in those alien scenarios, like
that would have
a lot of complex layers to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have it all.
Can't have it all. And I hope I remember this conversation because there was a complete missed opportunity in future
Next season?
No. It was they could have had a companion from the past, but then they decided to kill them and then they went with someone else. But like, if you know, you know. And I think most of us would have liked that person better because I don't know, it's just like I liked this person better in like rather than this person, you know?
Yeah. And like to see them be a companion.
Yeah. Like that version would have been better.
Interesting.
I don't even know if Brady knows what I'm talking about.
I don't.
Wow.
Surprise for him too.
I guess. Anyway, so yeah, next week we'll be watching episodes, 10, 11?
Yeah.
Right? Is that right? Mm-hmm. So my favorite.
Is it a 10?
It is a 10 for me. 10 out of 10. It's my favorite Alien. Beautiful episode. I just love it.
Okay.
It's not Doctor-centric.
I was going to say, like, with Martha in it, too? Like...
Not Martha-centric, not Doctor-centric. It's kind of like in the last one with the... Yeah.
I saw the comment. Like, people were like, don't actually like this episode or that episode.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
What?
That's what I said. I was like,
yeah.
People either hate it or they love it.
Crazy.
I know.
Anyways, I'm excited.
And then the other one, I don't really think. And then we get the finale.
And then we finally get the new companion.
Well, first Christmas. And in Christmas, are we going to see the new companion?
And then we're going to see the new companion.
You think? So Martha, you think is done?
We're done with Martha. She's had some arc. You know, now she's confident. She, you know, we'll see. And then she dies.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And we've had a little break from Mr. Saxon references, too.
Yeah.
Well, last couple episodes.
We've been not on Earth.
True.
Well, but still, or like not calling her mom, and like we don't have any like that kind of stuff. Either.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, I just wanted to point out that it was interesting because I was like getting ready for our season 3 like final rating.
Yeah.
Like writing down all the stuff, and I usually write down like the main characters within each episode, and I was like, what's Martha's mom's name? Because we know Jackie, right?
Yes, Jackie.
What is Martha's mom's name? And like her sister, I remember it's Trish.
Yeah.
But her brother, I don't know. And I'm sure I would forget the sister's name. So I just think it's interesting again that like with Rose, we got Mickey, we got Jackie. But we know
Could you say it from the Doctor, like, because he was more open to being here?
Well,
like,
sure.
But now after Rose, he's like, cannot be that close to them.
Well, yeah.
I don't,
Absolutely.
But still.
But
honestly, I don't even like their family that much.
Yeah.
My sister's fine. The mom, she's mom.
Yeah. Yeah. We just don't know him.
Yeah. Don't want to know him.
Yeah.
Don't need to know him.
So join us. If you need a reminder of what episodes we're watching when, check out our content calendar on our Instagram at the.tbr.podcast. We have all of our like past calendars as well, so you can like go back and watch along if you're a little behind. Don't worry about it. We'll still be
Gotcha.
So follow there, subscribe, put that notification bell on, and we'll see you next week. My favorite
For the
episode
best episode
ever.
ever.
Well, top 3 at least.
No, the best.
The best. All right. We'll see you then.
Bye. Bye. Brady.
Bye.